Hello viewers around the world and welcome to another edition of Plus Sports. This is an exciting edition which I'm extremely excited about because I've got the big guns right here and I've got the chairman of Feats and Tricks. It's a freestyling event, a freestyling competition, I beg your pardon, different from what we've seen, in Nigeria and Africa as a whole. And Mr. Valentine Ozigbo is right here. And the ambassador for Feats and Tricks, Mr. John Fashanu, world famous John Fashanu, is right here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Samson. Thank you.
I'll start with you, Mr. Valentine. Feats and Tricks, what brought it up? What inspired it?
I would say two things. One is passion, and secondly, the need to celebrate what ought to be celebrated. And I'd like to emphasize that a bit further. I've seen freestylers around the world, and I've seen how they're being celebrated, but not in this part of the world. Before now, what you see is some street boys, showcasing these amazing talents and skills, and then next thing you see them do is begging. And then, but take a look at those skills. They're actually, skills that are rare and indeed far better than all we've always celebrated. And so some of us came together, Kano Wanko, Ozigbo, and a few others. We came together, formed a company called Feats and Tricks. And the key objective is to actually celebrate freestylers. That is a singular objective. So everything around it, to make sure we bring music, dance, comedy, everything together and fuse that into football. There are things to help to showcase the sports and take it to where it should be. Freestyle footballing is actually the fastest growing football in the world. Over 50 million downloads on a daily basis, and therefore you wonder, how come nobody ever did this before us? So we signed exclusivity with the World Freestyle Football Association to promote freestyle football in Africa, starting with Nigeria. So last year, 2017, we organized the first ever championship. It was hugely successful. We actually broke 3 records, global records. Number one, we had the most female participation ever in any competition in freestyle football all over the world. And number 2, we had the biggest prize ever. We spent over 20 million on prizes alone. A brand new car was given to the winner, $1 million cash was given to the winner, and then different other cash prizes. And then we also had for female categories as well. So with this, they came back to us, the world body, to say, why don't you do the Continental Championship? And I would say, why not? We have everything ready. And so we're thankful that it's happening, and it's happening very soon.
Wow, you've said a lot just now. You talked about the event last year happening, the records broken, even in the debut edition of that, event. And you talked about cash prizes as well, even a brand new car. And you mentioned specifically the World Freestyle Association, partnering with this. Are the partners as well for this year?
Oh, yes. As a matter of fact, the co-founder of WFFA is arriving in Nigeria on the 10th of September in preparation for the event. We also have the technical director and their media group coming. And we have 3 former world champions also coming as judges. The technical aspect of the championship is taken over by the WFFA. They are the experts. That's what they do. So ours is to make sure that everybody around the arena, they enjoy maximum fun. Our event goes seamlessly, and also make sure the sponsors have all the visibility they deserve. And I'll come to the show of sponsors because it's been amazing this year. So it is going to be a tie between Feats and Tricks and World Freestyle Football Association all through the journey. And we also will continue this partnership for another 3 years, and eventually can be extended for further years. And depends on how things begin to progress. But so far, so good. We've seen a lot of acceptance. It's been incredible, actually. If you everybody's talking about freestyle football. Before now, just tell you this, I thank God I have an amazing guy like John Fashanu and YD and Sasia. But I sat down on, at the airport with Coach Samson Samson. And I was busy talking to him about freestyle football championship. I spent over 5 minutes discussing this. And he calls me back and says, sorry, what is freestyle football? at that point, I knew I had some work to do. So I know that for certain, after this championship, every mouth in Nigeria will speak and understand what freestyle football is. And that's really why we're here. And the freestylers are incredibly happy. They're excited. They said, the messages I get is, thank God for you. And I, not just me and my team. Because if we hadn't done this, you wouldn't be sitting in the studio talking about freestyle football.
Yep, because it's different from what we know, within the Nigerian, footballing world.
Yeah.
It's different from what we usually see. The freestylers are mostly, in the South American, countries, especially Brazil. But you mentioned John earlier as one of the ambassadors. Yes. Are there other ambassadors?
We have 5 ambassadors this year. John has been doing incredibly great job for us. He's been to over 12 more stations than I could even count. And with Waidi Akoni, who also used to be the president of Lagos State Football Association, used to be Super Eagles defender. I've also mentioned Coach Stasia, who is Netherlands, but flying back to Nigeria just because of this championship. And then we also have these are all ex-international. And of course, Kanu Wankwo is on the board, is part and parcel of the game. I reached out to, everybody asked me this, where's JJ Culture? I reached out to him, but he's in London for other engagements. So he won't be at this competition this year. But subsequent edition, we will have him. And then we have 2 Nollywood giants that are also going to be supporting us throughout the journey. Kate Henshaw, who is extremely athletic, if you know her from her gymming sessions. And then Tonto Dike, who also has been incredibly supportive for this event since last year. And with no question asked, just name whatever you guys want, we'll do it for you. And she's been all through the period.
That's great. Let me come to you, John. I mean, why Fits and Tricks? Why did you join this, credible, idea?
Samson, I think just listening to Val talk, you can hear the passion in him. He's a passionate person. Either he likes it or he doesn't. So, when Val was telling us, and what he just said about Samson, of course, Sia saying, I don't know what it is exactly the same as myself. When we first mentioned it, I didn't know what freestyle is. So I think it's very important, first of all, we are able to explain to everybody what is freestyle football. Freestyle football is the art, and it's an art, of being able to juggle a ball using any part of the body.
Okay.
Now, that's wonderful. I played in the English Premier League for 20 years, and I assure you, some of the ball jugglers I've seen, I can't get anywhere near them. I don't think Val can. Well,
you never know.
But it is an art in itself, and it stands alone from football. And I make it very clear, if you're an excellent footballer, it doesn't mean to say you're a great ball juggler, and vice versa. You might get the 1 or 2 very wonderful ones. JJ is an exception, who is a wonderful ball juggler. But apart from that, it's quite difficult. This is going to happen 3 days, 13th, 14th and 15th of September at the Federal Palace Hotel. It's a wonderful opportunity, as the boss Val has said, to also unite everybody, get everybody together. We're looking for the best freestyler. All you need is a ball. It's free to get in. Everybody who enters will get a drink and a bit of food. But the nice thing about it is it's another level of football. It's not in competition. There's no competition between freestyle and football. They are different, separate arts. And this is going to be a roadblock. I think we've got now 3,000 people already registered.
Wow.
It's incredible. And of course, you wouldn't want to do it anywhere else. I mean, it's got to be in Lagos because of the wonderful Lagos as it is. And your brother, His Excellency, the Governor.
Yes.
Who I'm sure you'll talk about.
Yes.
Okay. I'll get back to you, John. Quickly, why Lagos? He mentioned Lagos. Is it because it's the home of football, as it's often said?
For me, from my banking days and hospitality days, I will tell you that Lagos is a country of itself. And beyond that is, Lagos has been fortunate to have football sports lovers as chief executive from Fashanu days and now Ambode. Ambode His Excellency has been doing fantastically well as far as sports is concerned. Yeah. And in fact, I read something he said recently, how he wants to make Lagos the home of sports. And of course, we had reached out to him to come around to declare it open, and I believe he will be there. We've also reached out to a number of other ministers, Minister of Sports and Minister of Information and Culture. So Lagos is going to be the home. As a matter of fact, we plan to build an academy for freestyle football in Lagos. And next year, we already have planned our competition around the regional, each of the 6 geopolitical zones. But the grand finale for Nigerian Championship will also happen in Lagos. Though we intend to rotate the African competition across different parts of Africa. A lot of countries are showing interest, from Egypt to Algeria to Morocco, to South Africa, to Kenya, to Tanzania, and we also have Ghana as well. So any of these countries that can show sufficient readiness for next year, we will be making an announcement as to where we will organize the next championship. But the home for Nigeria will be Lagos, because of where everybody feels at home in Lagos. Yeah.
Okay, John, before I get to you quickly, you mentioned it's been a Pan-African, event. Yes. I can understand that this is, the first of its kind in terms of, all African,
yes,
regions being represented for a freestyling competition. Please kindly share more light on that.
So, never before has there been any continental championship, and this year we are going to crown African champion. There will be number 1, number 2, number 3, both on the male and female categories. And that's the plan for this year. And we have about 31 contestants coming from about 12 other countries. Wow. And we have over 120 coming from Nigeria alone.
Crazy.
So the elimination series will go on the 13th and on the 14th. And then the grand finale will be on the 15th. So we also have a lot of our events planned around this. If you've also watched some of our creatives, you see that a lot of musical talents that are performing. We have Fowles, the bad guy, performing. We have Vanessa, MD, who is from Tanzania, and Casey, yeah, my dear brother Casey, yeah, and Slim Case, Mayoko, and Mr. Rio. In fact, collectively, these guys have over 12 million followers on the social media. And then we have, on the dancing side, Kafi, Dreamcatchers, and Explicit from Ibadan. So, again, we have incredible cheerleaders and several other things going to be happening. So it's a carnival, and it's just going to be maximum fun. I said to people, I know it's a working day, go on holiday just for this.
Wow, you mentioned entertainment, you mentioned dance as well. So it's a combination of sports and entertainment, yes, which is great. I'll get back to you. We'll have to go on a quick break right now. When we return, I'll get back to you.
Thank you.
Welcome back, viewers. It's still Plus Sports, and here we are talking about feats and tricks. Do not forget that the event holds from the 13th of September to the 15th of September, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily. Just before we went on the break, Val was talking about, entertainment in terms of dance, music. So it's a combination of sports, dance, music, a whole lot. It's perhaps the total package. You want to say. Let me get to you, John, real quick. Yeah. I mean, are we going to see you freestyle? Can you freestyle? Let me start from there.
Samson. I'm an ex-footballer. If it wasn't raining so hard today, I would be out there ball juggling. We just do it quietly. I know Val is good as well. But
no one's ever seen it. We have a lot of footballers
Yes.
who really can juggle the ball. I
Yes.
mean, you mentioned JJ Okocha earlier.
Yeah.
There's the place of Ronaldinho. In modern day football, you have
Yeah.
someone like Neymar, who is also
Yeah.
good, with the ball
Yeah.
and all of that. But most footballers are not so good in terms of freestyling.
Of course.
So the fact that you're an ex-footballer does not necessarily mean that
Samson,
you're
you are right. And that's why I said, it's an art in itself.
Okay.
As I said, I might be good at playing football, which is different to ball juggling.
Okay.
But when it comes to ball juggling, I'm not even sure I can keep the ball up 10 times, to be honest. But it doesn't mean to say there's not a use for it. My job was to score goals. That's what I was paid for, 25 years to score goals, and that's what I did well. Mine was not to juggle. This is a different era now. This is something which is very, very different. It's an art, a specialist.
Okay, so let me quickly get back to this. He talked about the likes of Samson Samson and even Nollywood actresses, being on the board as well as ambassadors. What are your plans for Fits and Tricks for the events proper starting from 13th to 15th and going forward?
Well, what's important, Samson, is to make sure we have continuity. This is not just something which is going to come and then poof, blow up
Fizzles out.
and everybody disappears. This is an annual event.
Okay.
Wouldn't it be lovely if we have every local government had an area where they could do ball juggling?
Cool.
Yeah, because we've got some of the best ball jugglers in the world. They're here. You're looking for the best footballers. They're here. We've got so much talent, but it's not discovered. This is the beauty of working with Val because, he's very passionate about things and he goes right to the end to 100% to look for those particular people and to find those people. And this is what we've done. And we've come up with something which is original, absolutely original. People haven't seen the ball juggling skills that they're going to see on the 13th to the 15th.
Oh, that's great. So you, Val, what are the prizes? I mean, you don't just want people to come around, compete, and then... So what are the prizes in terms of the event itself, both for the female category and the male category?
Okay, before I come to that prize question, something is said about regular footballers and football juggling.
Football juggling, yeah.
What I found is, for me, I was never a great footballer, but I enjoy watching football. But I actually enjoy watching skillful footballers than watching the goal scorer.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Hold on a second. Hold on.
Thank you, Val.
The reality is, go back to Ronaldo, who is the best today.
Player, yeah, currently.
Do you imagine how much of football juggling skill that he has? Have you ever seen his videos?
Amazing.
So what it means, therefore, if you want to be an exceptional footballer, you've got to be a juggler. So that's what I need to define here. Okay. So you can be a great footballer, but if you want to be exceptional, you've got to be a football juggler.
Yes, I back that up.
Now, let me come back to the show prize. What we want to do is not just about throwing money to the winners. We want to handhold them. We want to make them celebrities, and that's what they are going to become. That's what they're already becoming. And I'm glad that winners are emerging from all manners of life. We have people who are street boys becoming winners. And we have medical doctor. One of the skills I'm going to see today, is actually from a medical doctor who came second last year. And on the female side, the winner for Fit and Tricks event last year eventually became the #1 footballer for Nigeria. Under 21, Rashidat Ajibade.
That's right.
Yes. Now, on the prizes, first is we want to give them a brand new car, the #1 winner. There will be cash prizes as well to go. But more importantly, we want to showcase the winner to the world. So we've made an arrangement with the English Premiership to take the Nigerian winner, the African winner, to the global football match. It will likely be a Chelsea match because I'm a Chelsea lover.
Yeah.
Sorry, apologies to
thank you.
all the
apologies received.
So it will be, and it's being wrapped up as we speak. And the winner as well will represent Africa in the global competition, and this will be all expense paid. So it's actually unlimited offer we're providing to the winners, and eventually we want to be able to take them to different competitions and basically allow them to make money and live a sustainable life. Because one of the things we want to also address with this event is to create jobs livelihood, sustainability. So you don't need to worry about any other profession when you are a professional freestyler. Okay. Because there are thousands of people who live their life off footballing, freestyle football. And that's what we intend to do with this game.
That's quite impressive, I must say. So the winner gets to showcase his talents at a live match, halftime, I guess.
Halftime
of an English Premiership
in front of about 50,000 people. It's incredible.
Imagine the followership, the audience that the EPL commands. So the person is basically being showcased to the entire world, millions of people. Yeah. That's quite impressive. You talked about cash prizes. You talked about a brand new car as well. So what are your plans for the event going into the future? I mean, that's beyond this edition. Yes. Are we going to see subsequent editions? Are they still going to hold in Lagos?
So two things I would say. We want to go more grassroots and we want to go global. Okay. So on the grassroots side, we are going to have regional championship, most likely in each of the 6 geopolitical zones. Owerri, for instance, for Southeast, Warri most likely for South-South, Lagos for Southwest, going to the North, Abuja for Central, Kaduna as well, and maybe Yola. 6 competitions. And then the winners in each of these 6 will converge in Lagos for the grand finale. Wow. And then we will move into Africa. I don't want to get into speculating which country yet, but because there are quite a number of them that showing interest. And we also want to see how countries support their freestylers to come for this competition and see how they're ready with things like visa regime and sponsorship as well. And what I'm also very glad about is some of the sponsors we have are actually saying they want a long-term deal. So it means that the future is already bright. And guess what? This competition is going to be shown live in 30 countries. So it means that you actually don't need to worry if you are not there in Lagos. You can watch from your home. And it's also going to be streamed live on go.com and several other platforms. So quite frankly, like I said to you, after this competition, everybody will come to know what freestyle football is. He doesn't need to define that again.
Well, the simple definition he gave was juggling the ball with
every part of your body. Yes. That's it. And, but I also want to say it's football and music fused together.
It's great. As I said, it's a combination of sports and entertainment.
Which is why the route ought to be African. As a matter of fact, I hear about we're inviting the world champions to come to Nigeria. And next thing will be African champions becoming the world champions and going any part of the world. That's really the idea, the agenda.
Great. Quickly, let's talk about the judges. 3 ex-world champions coming down to Nigeria. I hear Ian Traore of France.
Yes.
Is going to be here. Who are the others?
So we have 2 specialist performances coming from Iya Traore. And I will encourage viewers to please Google this guy, Iya Traore. He used to be originally from Guinea, but based in Paris now. He has broken Guinness records.
It's amazing.
You just need to see some of his YouTube videos and the things he does with football juggling. And he used to be PSG player, by the way. And he used to be a footballer. And Raquel Benetti is also coming from Brazil. This lady has amazing skills, and especially doing that with high heel. Just to also say to the women, there's no class differentiation here. Anybody can do it. Even in your high heel, you can juggle a ball. And then the 3 judges we have, one is coming from Norway, Tobias, world champion, Gauthier Fayot from France, world champion, and Sismon from Poland, world champion. These 3 winners will also show their skills at the stage so that the Africans can see what it takes to become a world champion, so that ultimately they know there's a lot of training they have to do to become great. And that's really, really the key ambition we're trying to achieve.
Great. John, final words real quick. What do you have to say? I mean, not just for this event, but going forward.
I think that the boss has said it all. I mean, this is going to be a roadblock. We know we're going to have 3 days of get-together from everybody. And as I said before, even if you cannot play football, you cannot juggle, come down there and just see what it takes to be a ball juggler.
Great. You mentioned roadblock. Over 3,000 registered, attendees.
Yes.
For the event. Lots of, and then we're expecting other people as well, from Africa.
Yes.
So definitely it's shut down.
Federal Palace Hotel.
Freestyling football. Federal Palace Hotel. It's going to hold.
Yes.
Balmoral Center.
Balmoral Convention Center.
Yes, September 13th to 15th. Yes. Final words, Val, before we leave.
Just to again assure everybody watching that you are in for great things, amazing fun, and seamless planning and organization. Anything I put my hands in, I must do it extremely well, and that's what I'm assuring people. We have our brands and reputations to stake, and it is going to be fun. We will not stop at anything to make sure you have, I don't want to say your money's worth, your time worth, because it's all for free. So, and the artists are actually planning to do big things. When I started with Kathy, she's planning a routine with football. So everybody's getting creative, because what this game is all about is about creativity. We want self-expression. And I also cannot end this interview without thanking the amazing sponsors that we have from Heritage Bank. They've been extremely supportive of this event, to MTN, to StarTimes, to Sprite, to Echo Disco. This light is coming through Echo Disco, so thankfully they are going to be there. So meaning there's not going to be any light outage. FRS, there's several. I can't even remember all of them. Yeah. Go.com, Street Soccer International, GSC Motors. Actually, they're bringing the brand new car.
Wow.
They are supporting. They supported it last year, and they're also bringing the brand new car. They're handing over to the winners. And Ife Sinachi Motors, of course, Plus TV, part of our media houses, and then Bella Niger, a lot of them. So I guess what you help us do, show their logos so that they don't say I've forgotten their name.
Okay, there you have it, viewers. Feats and tricks, a whole lot. It's a 3 days freestyling fiesta, it must be said. Sports combined with entertainment. And I must chip this in real quick. Registration for contesting has ended. But for, attending the events, it's free, right?
Feetandtricks.com. Just go out there and register. We are asking for 0 payment.
So it's free, no payments. That's all it takes. Just log on to the website www.feetandtricks.com. And once you're done with the registration, it's a free passage to experience a one-in-a-lifetime event that is happening in Lagos at this stage. But you can rest assured, as you've heard from him, that it will continue in subsequent years. Thank you very much for coming. It's a pleasure having you. And that's the package we've got for you on today's edition of Plus Sports. Do not forget to like our social media accounts that are scrolling on your screen right about now. And also subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Samson Samson, and it's Plus Sports.